Let's start right at the beginning. How would you define blocking for someone maybe just dipping their toes into this?
Okay. So at its core, blocking is basically the deliberate arrangement of, well, characters, objects, and also their movement, all within the film space. Think of it like choreographing a dance, maybe, but for a movie scene. Every step, every position, it all has meaning.
So this isn't just actors kind of wandering around the set then. This is really planned.
Oh, absolutely. It's planned early, often during rehearsals, sometimes even way back in the storyboarding phase.
Wow.
The director is thinking about, the precise location of characters. Are they sitting, standing,
Yeah.
walking, maybe leaning against something?
Right.
And they're also planning the nuances of movement. Like, when does a character move? Where do they go? And at what pace? Slow, fast, hesitant?
Okay, that makes sense. And what about how the camera actually sees them? Is that part of blocking too?
Definitely. Yeah, how characters are presented to the camera is a huge piece of it. Are we seeing them frontally or maybe from the back?
Or like a close-up versus a wide shot?
Well, framing is related, but blocking is more about their position within that frame. Half-body shots, for instance. And crucially, it's about the relationship between characters through how they're positioned.
Oh.
Who's closer to the camera, who seems dominant, maybe because they're higher up or more central, or who seems submissive.
I see.
The key idea, I think, is that blocking is kind of the cinematic body language of a story. It really does tell a tale without needing any words.
Cinematic body language. I like that. That's a perfect way to put it. Okay, to really see this in action, let's jump into our first case study, the incredibly poignant first meeting scene in Edward Scissorhands. When we first properly encounter Edward, can you walk us through the blocking choices there? What are they telling us?
Absolutely. Okay, so when Edward first comes into view, he doesn't just walk in. He sort of drifts into this big empty space. He's alone, right in the center, moving really slowly, almost hesitantly. And his hands, those famous scissor hands, notice how they're held wide. It reads less as threatening and more like he's maybe off balance or trying very carefully not to hurt anything, vulnerable. He also avoids looking directly at the person talking to him. That immediately suggests fear, maybe, or just total unfamiliarity with people, and that huge empty space all around him. That really hammers home his loneliness, his otherness. There's no closeness, physical or social.
That's fascinating. I was just focused on the scissors themselves, but you're saying it's how he moves the space that defines him. So what's the ultimate message from that visual choreography about Edward?
Well, the blocking cleverly flips your expectations, right? The scissors look dangerous, but his movement, it's all careful, isolated, vulnerable. It shifts our feeling from potential fear to empathy almost immediately. He comes across as this unique, delicate, solitary figure. Being central but alone suggests he's the focus, but also doesn't quite fit in. His body language, that slow pace, it screams caution. He seems more scared of the meeting than anyone else is of him. It shows how visuals can override assumptions.
Okay, from Edward's quiet vulnerability. Let's switch gears completely. The opening of The Godfather. That scene just radiates power. How does blocking pull that off? Feels like such a masterclass.
Oh, it really is. So in that opening, you've got Bonacera, the Undertaker, asking for help. He's sitting opposite Don Corleone, quite far away across this big, heavy desk. He's facing the Don, pleading. Corleone, meanwhile, is seated, very stable, barely moving. Behind the desk, it plants him firmly as the center of power in that room, untouchable. Now watch Bonacera. He stands up, he approaches, but always across the desk, never around it. Still subservient. And the key thing, the Don only gets up and moves towards Bonacera when he chooses to, not because Bonacera begs harder. It shows his total control over the situation, over the space, over time itself. And the other guys, Tom, Sonny, they're around the Don, sitting or standing, quiet. They don't interfere. It creates this very clear hierarchy. The Don at the absolute center of his world.
Wow, yeah. When you break it down like that, it's incredibly deliberate. So what's the takeaway for us, the audience? What's this scene really telling us about power through these positions and movements?
It's not just showing power, it's defining the nature of that kind of power. The distance, the level sitting versus standing, it's a direct visual story of control versus submission. The fact that the Don sits while others come to him, it feels almost royal, right? He holds court. And his stillness, especially compared to Bonacera's very emotional, pleading body language, it emphasizes the Don's restraint, his confidence, his immense power. It kind of teaches you that the one who moves least can often be the one most in control. His calm is his strength. Even when he does move, it's calculated. It's to make a point, set a boundary. Never reactive. Always intentional. So what's really fascinating here with both examples is how blocking fundamentally tells story through the body and through physical space. The core idea really is that movement, or lack of it, and the distances between characters, these are really powerful nonverbal signals. They communicate feelings, status, power dynamics. Generally speaking, if you see a character moving a lot, flitting around, they often seem less in control, whereas someone who's still constant, they tend to project strength, command.